How's it going, guys? My name is Lost, and welcome back to another Kingdom Hearts and Unicorns video. It is Sunday, December 17th, 2018 over there in Japan, and with that, we got our usual update. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the stuff that we got this morning. Aside from that, though, we're going to talk about the big main thing, and it's not just myself in this video. I do have Damo and ProperArtist in this video. Say hello, boys.
What's good?
Hey guys, how you going?
So, real quick, we're going to be talking about the other little things. So, first thing that we see on the screen is part of VIP. So, get the Olaf and the 7 balloons for you and your pet when you buy VIP. The Olaf and the 7 balloons boost the rating counter rate by +10. So, obviously, if you want it, you got to buy VIP. The next thing is going to be Union Cross, where you can get the Black Christmas hat and the Christmas ribbon in Union Cross. And aside from that, you have, let's see how many boards we got, 2, 4, 6 boards to complete, and you have up until Christmas Day to complete these the Union Cross thing. And then after that, though, I believe there is a special Raid Week event, so you have to defeat the Naughty Sled, which does not look like a Naughty Sled, but whatever. Defeat the Naughty Sled in this week's VIP, guys, and I'm not too sure if it's an official Raid Week, but it looks like it's kind of like a daily raid week thing. So yeah, up to you guys as to whether or not you want to farm and get that precious lux. Now, the big thing where we Damo and Pop are going to be talking about is this week's banner, or the banner that just popped up this morning, which is if you buy VIP, you get Sephiroth in a 5 mercy pool. And me and Damo both agree that this is just a complete and utter mess. So, Damo, I'm gonna let you start off because I know you were more triggered than I was earlier this morning when you saw this.
I sort of looked at it and was like, I mean, it was very expected, but it's like, yeah, this is it. I was mainly disappointed from like a strategy point of view because the way I used to play the game, and honestly, the big reason I made the channel was it's like, okay, if you want to do this free to play, you don't have to necessarily miss out on anything. You have to play smart, definitely, and you have to be careful with your jewels, but there's no reason that you just should have to miss out on the really important things, as long as you know, read the patterns and be really, really careful about what's going on. And I just worry that that day might have passed at this point. Like, I think back to the foretellers that came out recently, the foreteller EX pluses, and it's like, they were a 10 pool mercy, so they were definitely very expensive. But again, if we were sort of reading the patterns and going, okay, we're due for another really big buffer soon. If you saved up enough, and you know, 30,000 jewels is no small amount, but you could pull for him. You know, only one of them obviously, but you could have those things. Now it's like, are we just gonna have to wait for, like, okay, what I'm worried about is Mercy's ever going to come back for free-to-play players, or is that just done now? And again, I think they will eventually come back, but it might not be for a long time, and that just kind of worries me a little bit. But I don't know, man. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I agree with you. I feel like they're taking that direction where all of these medals that actually are worth spending your jewels on, like Sephiroth, for example, them bringing them back, of course, is a smart idea because after like 2 months of it being out, people are still using it in any type of event. They're still using it in PvP. And so you would think that by now it'd be the time where they would at least give free-to-play players a chance to actually mercy it on either a 5 mercy pool or a 10 mercy pool. And what they could have done at least on this on these 2 banners right here was, instead of just making Sephiroth only a mercy pool on the premium banner, they could have at least gave him like a 10 mercy pool, so that way some players who have actually been waiting to mercy the guy have that opportunity now. At the same time, though, like I mentioned to Damer a couple minutes ago, I feel like with this banner right here, some people might see it as bait. I mean, nowadays everybody thinks every banner is bait, but I feel like there's a good possibility that we could see our reverse buffer, and most of the time, well, I know a lot of times people say that it's Xion, but you know, we really haven't gotten like any KH3 version of Xion, so at this point it could be anything. But that reverse buffing medal, it could be a possibility that it could show up, and so it's going to suck for players who do actually either not buy VIP and take the chance and not get it, and then all of a sudden Xi'an comes up and they're gonna be like, oh man, so much regrets. I can't believe I did this. And that's the cycle of this game. It's like you want to get one medal, and then all of a sudden a medal that you know is in point and it's gonna last you more than a month, because nowadays in this game medals, they don't even last a few weeks, and that's just depressing because it gives you so many regrets. And me, as the whale that I was in this game after recently when I stopped so throwing money into this game, I realized I noticed that so many times when I pulled out medals and then like the week after I don't need it. I don't use it. I don't even touch it. And I know the feeling. I know the feeling what some free-to-play players have. So, and it really sucks because you get those regrets, and nobody wants to feel that, especially not in gacha games where something is already useless after like a week or so. So,
It's one
Yeah,
of
it's
the big
difficult.
reasons I left myself.
what was that?
It's one of the reasons I left myself. I stopped playing because everything just kind of kept getting outclassed so fast. You don't have time to enjoy it. Like, you saved up for this really cool Sephiroth that, well, obviously Sephiroth at the time, you're going to use him all the time for PvP, but for something you maybe got in a high score challenge, or something you pull for, like these the Elsa. I'm sure that thing's gonna be pretty useless here in a week or so because they're gonna drop something that's gonna completely trash on it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not even gonna matter. Especially if, like you said, Xi'an drops, and it's just gonna be the same thing over again. Whoops! You spent for Elsa. You should have saved for the dark version. Could have got everything you needed right there.
I mean, I think, like, I think Elsa and those frozen medals do sort of serve a niche role, and to an extent, like, obviously Kari is the jack of all trades, master of, well, pretty much master of all trades as well, especially if you get like extra attack on it. But I mean, even those like lesser frozen medals, I suppose, the three basic ones,
Mm-hmm.
do serve some sort of a purpose on like
Yep.
a single attribute keyblade.
Yep.
But okay, like, so they bring back Sephiroth this week, and if you're going to bring back any supernova medal as a mercy first, of course you're going to do Sephiroth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if that doesn't tempt people, nothing will, you know. Buy VIP, chuck us your 15, 20 bucks, whatever, depends on the region you're in, and then you're only effectively, what, 11,000 jewels away from Sephiroth, if you
Mhm.
count the 4,500 from VIP. A lot of people are going to do that, right? And those that haven't already bankrupted themselves on Kyrie, or I don't know, it's what we've been saying for a few weeks now. It's like they're just really doubling down on everyone that's still in this game and understands the value of these different medals. We're just going to try and squeeze every little penny that they have. And it's like, this is Kingdom Hearts, man. You know, we're all so passionate about this game, you know. As a community together, it seems like we've decided to, you know, reject these leaks that are happening, which has been like really awesome to see, like all this supportive fan art and, you know, bloody passionate letters from Tetsuya Nomura himself. And it's like,
Yep.
that's on one hand. And then on the other hand, you have Union Cross, which is like desperately trying to claw every dollar it can out of these people. And it's like, man, this is such a black mark on this series, and it really, really doesn't have to be. Like, this game has potential to be such an amazing game, which is, it's a real shame. That's all it is at this point. It's like, I'm going to stay with it for as long as it exists. Like, I will be here until the day the servers turn off. Because, and I'm sure you guys will as well. I mean, you know, obviously you do what you want to do, but,
Yeah.
you know, you're fans of the series, and it's just a shame. That's really all it is at this point.
Yeah, my fear that and like what you mentioned before we started recording this video was that if they're gonna continue with these Mercy premium banners, then this game is gonna die off real quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Because there won't be any medals for, unless people want to take the chance and get extremely lucky. There's gonna be no medals for people to use for any future events after this, even though there's really not much to use it on. But you get my point.
No, definitely. It's like, again, that's what I meant. Like, the smart player would save up for Kyrie, and if they didn't save up, it's like, okay, well, you know it's coming back as a mercy.
Yeah.
You know that is going to happen. It might take a couple goes around, but you know it'll be back as a mercy eventually. And it's like, they haven't given us again. I mean, yeah, it's only been 3 weeks of this new system, granted, but they haven't given us any indication to. I don't trust that that my gut feeling is wrong, and that this VIP thing isn't going to be permanent for every single banner going forward.
That's what I'm
Like,
hoping it doesn't happen.
Yep.
They could show us a good faith thing and be like, okay, well, all the supernova okay. It's like we were saying to you before, just off video. It's like if they communicated it differently, it's like, okay, for free-to-play players, nothing's really going to change, because when we've introduced the supernova medal in the past, it's always been merciless, right? There's been no way of getting it. We want to reward our VIP players and be like, okay, we understand you guys are spending a lot of money, so we're going to give you some guarantees behind that. And part of me thinks that is 100% to cover their own butts in terms of loot box laws, which you know are coming really soon. And if you don't know, then they certainly know, because it seems like they're preparing for it right now. Anyway, take it. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say it's they're doing it for the right reasons. I just completely lost my train of thought. Sorry, I looked over at Dokkan Battle, a mobile game that actually gives me plenty of stuff to do, and I'm like, I could do all this stuff now. My time had just elapsed, and I'm like, I actually want to get back and really playing this game. Which, I mean, was kind of my point of, like, all these medals that we buy, there's nothing really to do with them.
There's really not.
Like, what? It's just the leaderboard at this point. You climb the PvP leaderboard to get tier 8 fairies which seem to be becoming less worth it by the month. Like, Scene requires no tier 8 fairies. What requires tier 8 fairies every month, right? The Organization 13 medal and the High Score Challenge medal, and then I guess the VIP medals. They've now removed one of those things.
Until they decide to be like top 1,000, not only do you get this other shit, because if you can barely go in there with the percentage, and you end up getting whatever you need, it ain't even gonna be that big of a deal if they add a tier in there for top 1,000. Now you get it at a 7-star. So everything below that is the same stuff, but now it's a 6-star, and you gotta evolve it to a 7-star. So they've already implemented it for the organization event. Don't be surprised if they do something like that for high score challenge medals, and just take even more, of the need for PvP out of the necessity of playing the game. So
I mean, at this point I wouldn't be surprised, but they'd be crazy to do it, right? Like, why does anyone else do PvP?
Exactly.
Or is it literally just for the leaderboard? Like, again, I mean, I interviewed you guys the other day. I'm still working on the video, but like, a lot of the competition in this game is just driven by, I want to be on the top of the leaderboard. Like, why does anyone do a high score challenge above top 1,000? Like, why do people strive for the top 10 places? They want that. It's that little ego boost, and I can understand that. It's a competitive game, and there's a competitive aspect to it, of course. I can completely understand that, but like at some point, PvP is not even going to matter anymore. And I'm sure for a lot of the whales that have, been earning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at this point gold tickets since the beginning of its inception. I mean, like, obviously, personally, I don't get VIP, so I don't have the tier 8 VIP medals. But I've evolved almost all the tier 8s that I want to evolve, and I haven't really got that many. I get at least one copy of the High Score Challenge every month, but I haven't really got anything else to evolve. I don't buy every organization medal, so I'm just thinking, like, at what point are the whales going to be like, I mean, I'll do PvP, but I don't even really need to. Like, there's no rewards here for me worth getting.
That's what I was thinking the other day too.
Part of the game. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one more part of the game that's, like, not even worth playing. Like, what do you need to play for?
That is 100% why I left, but that's why I left, though, bro. I ended up stopping the game because it was like, what am I signing in for? I can't just grind endlessly in Coliseum because y'all deliberately put a wall up so I know exactly where I can and can't go anymore.
Yeah.
You literally do ones. It's not even like you do progressive damage. You just start doing ones to everything. So that's gone from grinding or doing something in the game constantly. They always have 0 AP, so it's not like you gotta frantically do an event or log in whenever you can so you can farm something you may need. There's not even anything to farm.
But that's it. When was the last time anyone ran out of AP in this game? Literally, I have not run out of AP.
Union Cross 2.
I don't think ever. Like, not in my, like, even raiding, like, at least I'm still a low enough level. I mean, but granted, it's still like 430, 440.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
by the time I did my rating, you know, you can only summon what 20-ish bosses. Is it 20 bosses or 40 bosses in it now? Whatever it is.
Yes, something like that.
Before, because it costs 5 AP to summon it, and effectively you've got what 40 summons of your roughly 200 AP by the time I reach it. Anyway.
Yeah.
But by the time that happens in the entire hour, I'll either level up or just run out of time before I run out of AP. There's no other events where they release 5 to 10 story quests, which cost 10 AP each. You can blow through all of those and spend 50 to 100 AP. If they release 10, which they haven't done in ages, you're never going to run out that way. There are literally no farmable events whatsoever, even if they release a whole bunch of new events in the events tab. At most, it's what, 20, let's say even 30 quests. Again, at 5 AP each, you're not running out of AP. It's like, that mechanic means nothing anymore. It means, and it's what I keep pushing for. It's like, just for the love of God, give us something to do. Give us a reason to actually play the game, apart from, it just perpetuates itself at this point. It's like, you log in, and you get more powerful because everyone else is getting more powerful, and you have to keep up.
Yeah.
And if you want to stay competitive, you have to keep up. Again, it's like, it's the extremely meta whole Keyblade War thing, where it's like, okay, well shit, well we have to get stronger because the other 4 units are getting stronger. And one of them is probably evil. You know, one of them's got to be the traitor, and it's not us. So we've all got to get stronger. Like on a horrifically meta experiment, I gotta like tip my hat to them to be like, okay, yes, it's working. We are exactly playing into your hands, like just like you know you wrote these characters to do. Okay, touche. But on the other hand, it's like, but also, can you make a fun video game at least while we're doing it, please?
Yeah, that's really all you ask for.
After Kingdom Hearts 3 releases, right? They want people to come in. If you can get, okay, let's oddball. Let's say 2 million people buy a copy of Kingdom Hearts 3, and personally I hope it's more, but let's just say 2 million people do it. Only 100,000 people are playing global right now. Surely they want to say, hey, you know, what if 10% of you jump over and join global? That would just double the population of global in a week, let's say. Let's say, okay, hey, there's a download code included inside the leaflet of Kingdom Hearts 3, and it gives you, you know, let's say 13,000 free jewels. You know, you bought a copy of Kingdom Hearts 3, and you get a shitload of free jewels as a little redemption code, which is not out of the question, because I'm looking at my copy of Dissidia Final Fantasy right now with an inlet little sleeve with a code on it for X amount of free summons or whatever in Dissidia Final Fantasy. So it's like, they obviously have the means to do exactly that.
Yeah.
If you want to keep this game alive, I would be baffled if they didn't do it. Like, give them something to do. They're going to get there and be like, okay, A, we're months behind on story, so even though apparently Elrena and Lorium are very important, well, I guess we don't get to find out until May. No, I'm not sticking around, sorry. And B, there's nothing to do anyway. There's literally goddamn nothing to do. Like, yeah. You ask around, you look at the YouTubers, and the YouTubers are going, nothing to do. And you go, okay, fuck it, uninstall. Like, god damn it.
Honestly, I think out of all the content creators, I think only a few have honestly expressed how we've been feeling about the game as of late. Because anybody else who hasn't, I feel like, could probably just be sugarcoating it and, you know, saying whatever. But I feel like to players like us, doesn't even matter like what kind of player you are. If we're speaking out and we are letting you guys know how we feel about things like that, it's kind of reasons why. It's not like we're just making videos just to whine and complain. Like, that's honestly not what we're doing. You know, we are just gamers. We are also players who play the game just as much as you and everybody else. So that doesn't make us any different from any of you guys. So.
You also got a taste of the Dokkan, and you know what it could be like when you have a game whose company and people behind it listen to their community and don't spam what is the equivalent to Dokkan Fest banners every week.
Yeah. So.
And there's a whole bunch of stuff to do. So, I mean, I've been playing KHUx since day one. Well, I had played it since day one up until around Thanksgiving-ish time, you know, or a little bit before then, just couldn't do it anymore. And I like the Kingdom Hearts series. I love the Kingdom Hearts series. It's one of my top 3 all time. But this game just ain't the one. Ain't the one, Chief. That ain't it. Don't know about that one.
But yeah, other than that though, guys, I mean, that's just us expressing how we feel about not only just the premium banners, but just like how things are going right now with the game and how we've been feeling about the game, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, like Damo said, you know, there is an interview that he's going to be uploading eventually whenever he gets a chance, though. And then you're gonna hear some what's the right word? Some true honest answers as to how I have felt about the game, how I see the game in the future, and you know, all the other stuff that he asked me. But other than that, though, guys, so that's gonna be it for the update video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button. Make sure to check out Prop on his Twitch channel, and Damo, of course, the free-to-play legend, on his YouTube channel as well. And that's gonna be it. Take care, guys, and me and the boys will see you guys later.